stream up and running now. How to export Discord chat? I don't think you can really export it very easily, honestly.
Welcome to IT Career
We'll
Questions.
stop.
My name is Zach.
Mute that. Sorry, I'm refreshing my page so I can get the live stream up. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's weird, but anyway. Y'all have questions, hopefully, today. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to banter with myself. And if you guys want me to talk at myself, I can do that for sure. But I would definitely prefer not to. I'll get you up on the stage here, Leon.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Yeah. In the dark right now.
Looks like we're live on LinkedIn now. I don't know why YouTube isn't working though.
Very visual.
Yo.
How to export
there
a
we go.
Discord chat? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to export it either.
What new shirt do you think VHS should push out? I think they're going to push some out soon. Also, I'm kind of PTO, so I was playing a Silk song. So you catch me fighting a boss. A Silk song, like Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were telling me about that before. NRB Psycho has a question. What is the best way to get into the industry as an entry-level red team cybersecurity expert? Wow, that's such a hard question. So you could literally ask that same question to 100 people, right? 100 people who are working in security, maybe even 100 people who are pen testers or red teamers or quote unquote cybersecurity experts. You're going to get 100 different answers. I can almost guarantee that. You'll probably get some similar answers. You know, maybe like a few things here and there that are the same, but otherwise, like almost everybody I feel like has a different story that they could tell you on how they got into this field. And from that, you're going to have different advice for you and how you get into this field. And I don't say that to like scare you in any way or discourage you, because I know that this can sound very discouraging. However, I hope that this provides a little bit of encouragement in a way, because there's not really any barriers. You're not going to get siloed in this field. There's literally nothing that can stop you from working in this field other than yourself. Okay. Like that is just like flat out truth. Nothing can stop you from finding success in this field. It just might take longer for you to do it than somebody else. You might have to go down a few different routes than somebody else. But otherwise, like the best advice that I could give for you as somebody new looking to get in the field is to take your time. It's not a race. Just first and foremost, I guess, understand that before you start worrying about all the different things that you have to learn and do and all of that. Because like you're always going to be learning in this industry. You're always going to be learning different things. Like the education piece of this never, ever stops. But the one thing far and above that is always going to help you find more success in this industry. So best way to get into this industry and to continue your success in this industry, and I'm going to sound like a broken record to a lot of you here, but it's networking. Not networking with switches and routers and things like that. It's social networking. It's human networking. It's doing things just like this. You're here now with us, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. But what other communities can you join? What other meetups can you find? So if you go to like meetup.com, you can find like local meetups in your area that are going to be hopefully like IT, cybersecurity focused, things like that. There's also like, you know, cons and things like that, conventions, conferences. I mean, those are all excellent ways to start networking with the community. That is by far and above the very best advice that I could give you, simply because I think that's going to stand out far and above everything else. Yeah, layer 8 people networking for sure.
Layer 8 is the most troublesome and at the same time the most important part of it.
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah. Gilly is asking, are we excited for Wild West Hacking Fest in Denver? I am super stoked. I'm
I
really
want to
looking
go, but
forward.
at this moment, it's still unsure if I'll be able to afford it.
Yeah, that's understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, NRB. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. If you have another question you want to follow up with, please go ahead and ask. I know that probably doesn't necessarily answer the question to best of my ability or whatever, but or answer your question exactly what you were looking for. Maybe I'm not sure, but yeah. Oh, Shade Lar. I don't even know what your name's supposed to be, but you say you can't wait for Wild West in Denver. It's going to be your first one. Super pumped for you. Super excited. Ro, are you coming to Denver again? It was awesome. It was a very good time. Oh, awesome. I can't wait to see you there. I was going to reach out to you. I was just thinking about you last night. So hopefully you are doing well. Portfolio wise, best things that you can do, honestly, like outside of like having a degree, right? Like having a degree is always going to be a benefit for you. It's always going to look great for you. Same with certifications; those aren't always options for everybody. I'm just being real with that because degrees can be expensive. It can take a lot of time. Certifications can be expensive, take a lot of time. Outside of those things, what's going to stand out is the networking piece of it, honestly. Like adding to your portfolio there would be doing things like blogs and write-ups, documentation, sharing things that you've done. I know this might sound kind of weird to you. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday where I gave that advice. And the very first thing they said back to me, is like, well, Zach, like I could totally write a blog about X, Y, and Z, but so-and-so's already done that before. And I laugh at that every time somebody tells me that. Like, why would I reinvent the wheel, if you will? And it's like literally like in a way you are kind of reinventing the wheel on something because even though somebody else has done a blog about whatever topic or done a write-up or documentation about a specific thing, they aren't you. And you, the person on the other side of this camera, right? You are an individual human being with your own life experiences, that you can always provide your own perspective and thoughts on any topic. And that is a wonderful, amazing thing. Like we could all sit down and go over like a CTF competition and we could all have maybe like the exact same write up because we all went through the same steps to do it. But what is it that I learned from it, right? Like what other perspectives about that experience can I provide that shines outside of like the initial here's what I did? Where's your thought process in all of this? We want to see that. I want to know what that is. I want to know how you look at things outside of the box. And that's where you can provide your own perspective. That's where you can write up something and it's going to be different. And I guarantee you, like somebody out there is going to gravitate towards your style. And I gave this example too, and this is no offense to everybody. And I don't literally mean this like literally, but I'm just providing an example. I'm sure you've all heard of like Network Chuck out there, right? Sure, everybody knows who Network Chuck is. He's very popular YouTube personality in the world of IT and security and all of those things, right? I don't like his style. I don't like the way that he delivers material, right? Like, I don't like that. So I'm not going to watch that. Same thing could be said for John Hammond, right? I'm sure you've all heard of John Hammond. He's very popular network, YouTube personality and all of that. I'm avoiding the I word because I dislike that word so much. That's the fluencer word. I'm not going to say the I part of it. But anyway, same thing can be said for John Hammond. Like, I don't like his delivery. I don't like the way he talks. His voice is too deep for me, right? Like there could be X, Y, and Z things about these people that I just don't like, right? And that's okay because there's so many other people out there. The old John?
I prefer the old John, the 40-minute long videos.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that got me into cyber. Well, yeah, I totally understand what you mean. And people nowadays are really into like, hey, other people are doing this, and that's why I must do it. And that's kind of like a self-harming kind of uh, environment where you're doing stuff because others also do it. You have to do things because you want you to do it, not because others do it. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic, and if I rant about that, it's gonna take the whole hour.
Oh, good. Let me get this invite out. And just a reminder, if y'all have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. It's a very open format where everybody is welcome to participate. And there are no stupid questions. If you think you have a stupid question, please ask it because I'll probably love it. And then Gilly said, "You can't wait. What's your favorite thing about Wild West Hack and Fest?" I would assume that's what you were talking about. My favorite thing about Wild West Hack and Fest, honestly, is just seeing people. I work, at home all day, every day by myself. So I'm stuck in this same spot that you see me in right here for like 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day, and I don't see anybody. So my favorite part of going to a conference is the people, seeing people, connecting with everybody, knowing that like, y'all actually exist. You're real people. I love that. The community is really wonderful. So every time, like every single Wild West, like the people that are there are just really, really amazing. So you can just have conversations with everybody like all day, every day. And everybody's so kind. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't. I can't find it right now because I thought it was like by my side. But the Red Siege fishing CTF, that was my favorite part of the of Denver. Besides going out to dinner with really good friends.
Yeah, and I like that part to it too. The food at the last Wild West was really good though. Samson, your question is in the last CTF about the expiry date of the JWT token. Question number 3, curious if the answer was none or there was literally an answer you weren't able to find. Tried some scripts and a lot of stuff, but you weren't able to find the expiry date. I believe that was an error on our end. I believe it was supposed to be the creation date, and I have to follow back with our team today. That's one of my to-do items that I have on my list is to touch base with them about that specific question because there were a few people who had issue with that one. Yeah, that's a good point. For whatever reason, the style of the person's voice and their tone matters to you. Yeah, 100%. And you don't learn super well via video. You're more of a reader. You love it when they will make well-designed PDFs or ebooks. I'm like the complete opposite. I feel like I won't read or learn anything from a book. Give me the video so I can follow along. That's where I feel most effective.
For me, it's give me something to break. When you break something, you're gonna learn the most about it. If you've never broken a system or something, you don't really know it. Because I've had a lot of people tell me like, "Hey, I'm really good at this." I give them a broken system, and they cannot fix it, and that's how they learn. Like, hey, oh, I had a lot of things to learn.
I missed the chat. No, we're streaming out to YouTube. We're on LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook, maybe. If you all have any questions, you can put your questions in the chat on the respective platform that you're on, and I will see them. So I will announce them in the chat and make sure that we answer those questions. So don't be afraid. Ask away. We are here to help. That's the whole point of these weekly AMAs is just to get together with the community and help you all out and hang out. Otherwise, I mean, Leo and I can just banter back and forth with one another. That's fine too.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't see the YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn chats. I only see the Discord chat. So you
Yeah,
got me covered on those platforms.
you won't see them, but I'll read them to you.
Yeah,
Jesse, you're a weird, frustrating mix. You need to be able to do it, but if the instructions are written well, I can read and do. Video varies. Some instructors you just cannot, no matter how hard you try. I agree. Yeah, I'm with Haircut Fish, more of a hands-on learner, visually watching something and follow along. You'll learn a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is a perfect example of, like, you know, IT, right? Like, there's so many differences of in people in the way that they consume content. LinkedIn videos glitching on LinkedIn. Is it Leo's video that's glitching on LinkedIn, or is it both of the videos? Oh, and maybe because I think I minimized.
Oh, you minimized Discord or something?
Yeah, I minimized it
Oh, yeah.
on my streaming computer, so it went away. Because I do see like a video glitch in your camera from how I'm doing it on the
Yeah.
computer that I'm remoted into. So, yeah. Anyway,
It's a question by user 46424. I currently work as a SOC analyst and I'm interested in moving into threat hunting. What skills or areas should I focus on first? I think Antisyphon has a class on that, if I remember correctly. One of the pay what you can classes.
they get to pay what you can. I know we have like threat hunting with Eric and Whitney.
And
Here,
I also
I'll give you
there's a
the search results for threat hunting because there's like a few different classes that would probably align with what you're looking for here. But some,
and
oh god,
there's a threat hunting Discord by Antisyphon too. I don't think I got one. But
yeah. And then skills or areas you should look into first. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that you're learning as a SOC analyst that's going to help you out in your next steps here. But without kind of like knowing, understanding like what your current level is at, it's easy. It's just typically easiest for us to like recommend training and things like that. Like specifically because I know like we have some that are aligned towards basically where you're at right now in your career, from SOC analyst to like those next steps. I think like Cyber Threat Intelligence 101 with Wade Wells is a good one for that. And then threat hunting and incident response with Velociraptor. Those would probably be like my two best suggestions based on what we have. Yeah, and then Chad says, if you have a threat hunting team in your org, ask the shadow along. Always that, 100% that, always.
there you go. I think it's the active countermeasures Discord. I don't know. They have the free training on the platform. Play around with active countermeasures, the virtual machines, and that's a pretty good start.
And hi, Brett. Looks like you got a haircut.
He just doesn't have a hat right now.
Maybe that's what it
And
is.
a hat cut.
Jamfish. So, advice you have for any longtime senior security folk who feel like their careers are stalling. I mean, I feel like probably a lot of us feel that way throughout our careers. Maybe it's not so much that you're stalling. You're just probably getting maybe bored with what you're doing, or maybe you can't. You know, maybe you are having a difficulty taking those next steps. I feel like I screwed that up. But anyway, I guess I don't necessarily have advice yet, but I have more so of a question or questions and what makes you feel that way, and what is it that you're trying to do that makes you feel like you're stalled out. And
I
then
would
maybe
say
I
it
can
really,
answer.
I say it really depends on your situation itself. Because I had that moment in my first job where it was like, okay, I already did everything I wanted to do, and they're not letting me do more stuff. And the answer that in that scenario was leaving that job. And I did. But right now, I'm in a completely different scenario. Right now, I'm a manager. I oversee all the service, all the facility security services of the company. So if I feel stalled, or I feel like there's something that needs improvement, I can just work on it without asking permission or something. Uh, so basically, I've never feeling stuck on my current job, but that's because I basically manage the entire OffSec service of the company, and that's why.
Sometimes switching jobs can definitely reinvigorate you for sure. That's why I asked initially about the job part of it first, because I feel like
Hmm.
most people who are feeling a lot of negativity, it's mostly due to their job situation and where they're feeling at. You know, they feel stuck in their life there, and that's very difficult to get out of sometimes.
Hmm.
And Lazy Bum 91, you have longer question here. Hey, Zach, you've been working in electronics repair for over a decade. In the past couple of years, been working on getting your Network Plus, Security Plus, all the Antisyphon workshops, and fixed up your resume to try and translate your electronics repair experience to a desktop support experience as you've been troubleshooting and setting up PCs for test equipment. And you just enrolled in WGU for the BSCIA. And you also recently got your AZ900. Congrats. And you're hoping this is enough to try to find something in the field to get your foot in the door. You haven't been able to find a job, though, and have applied to a bunch of different roles with no hit so far. Do I have any recommendations for internship opportunities or entry-level cloud jobs? Are you spreading yourself too thin? Should you focus on one specific thing? No, not necessarily. So I could tell you from an entry level standpoint, it is going to be difficult, right? And that's just due to the nature of the industry right now. That's the nature of just everything that's currently happening in the world. There's been a lot of layoffs in the industry, in the IT industry. And one thing that tends to happen is like a lot of people who are working and they've been laid off, they tend to try to like level down into a job if they can, just so that they can get a job and start getting a paycheck again. So you have a lot more competition that's out there. But having the certifications is definitely a help. Is huge. Like that's going to be great for you. So if you have those certifications, well, you just have your AZ900, I think. So you don't have your Net Plus or Security Plus yet. So and the AZ900 is very fundamental. Not that that's terrible, but it is very, very fundamental. I mean, having a degree and having maybe another certification would potentially help you out, right? I guess you filled out a lot of applications. Have you gotten any interviews at all? Have you gotten any phone calls back? Because I guess like initially the first thing that I'm thinking about here is if you're applying for jobs right now, you're not getting a call back or even an interview, there's something wrong with your resume and or you're maybe not qualified for the positions that you are applying for. Especially if you're going something for more cloud related and you only have the AZ900, that's more than likely not going to be enough unless you have like an incredible project list of things that you've done that are cloud related and you can show that off, so if you have like blogs, documentation, things that you've done where you can actually show your knowledge. But if all you have is your AZ900 and you're looking for a cloud job, that's going to be very, very difficult. I'm not sure how old you are, but if the Lazy Bum 91, if that 91 is any indication, maybe like the year that you were born, you're too old for an internship and you'll never get an internship. Uh, like there are often very, very hard requirements on internships where you have to be like enrolled in school and it has to be more along the lines of like your first type of like gig almost. It'd be very, very difficult for you to get an internship later on in life for sure. Not to say that it couldn't happen. It could definitely happen. It's just gonna be like slim to none odds of that. I don't know if you guys want to chime in here because I could just keep going on this one.
Uh, uh, it's really hard. I don't know. Internships have lost their meaning, basically, and there's also the fact that you don't have like an internship level like knowledge base. I will say, because internships are for learning mainly. You don't need to know basically anything to do an internship. If you already know all that stuff that you listed, like really good, how you're supposed to, you can straight up apply to junior positions instead of an internship. And depending on your knowledge level on each of those topics, you can either go directly to a non-junior position, but no, something like an intermediate. I don't know how you all call that. Uh, but yeah, don't don't underestimate yourself, I will say.
They said that they've applied to desktop support 2, junior analyst 1, technical support tech, and they're doing cover letters and separate resumes for each role. They do have their network plus and security plus, and they said nope, which I would imagine was the nope to getting a call back for an interview. If you're not getting a call back for an interview, it's always going to go to your resume. Like there's something about your resume that is just not working out for you. Provided that you meet at least like 40 or 50% of the requirements for that job, right? Like that's going to be, I guess, like the other big thing, right? Your resume always is going to bite you in the butt, you know? And if it's not your resume, like if you had your resume reviewed by, people and you are like very rock solid about it, then you're missing some of the requirements that they're looking for these positions that you're applying for. But most of the time it's typically the resume. And if you guys see something, just let me know. I have to pause the chat so I can stay on some of the questions. So I know that there's a lot more coming through.
My thing is, the one thing to know is a lot of companies right now are hesitant to pull the trigger on hiring anybody, but they need to show an effort to hire. So there might be a lot of postings that are just out there like, oh, we're trying to fill it, but they don't really want to fill it.
Yeah,
That's the current climate right now, unfortunately, because everybody's iffy about the tariffs, everybody's iffy about the political climate, and just the overall world climate. So there may be situations where they're going through the motions, but they're not really intent on hiring anybody. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, it's a very weird time right now. Like we've seen layoffs and recessions and all that stuff before, right? But we've never seen something like this. So it's hard to answer some of these questions because I think there's a lot that we're as an industry just not entirely sure of. And basically what Brett alluded to is just like there's so much uncertainty with things. Like there are a lot of organizations out there who are concerned, just kind of like laying low, if you will, or being very cautious about things. They're taking their time to hire people as well. So yeah, and this is probably the worst time right now to be looking for a job. Like these next 3 weeks, like next year, basically is going to be. Things should change drastically after the holidays. We would hope. One would hope.
Well, it depends on the company's budget too. Like you're at the last end. Like if they're not following the government's situation, like as far as fiscal year, then they're at their end of their calendar year. Their budget's potentially strapped. They're not looking to hire someone into the new year. Like, unfortunately, my recommendation, and it's similar to the fact of like making blogs and everything. One thing I got at a conference, someone recommended go buy a product, like a new product, hook it up to your computer, and then watch what it does, and then write up about it, like a kid's toy or something, and then just put it out there or make a talk about it, and then throw your talk at all these conferences. Because if you get into a conference where the talk is, depending on your situation, they may be willing to help financially support you getting to the conference or doing the talk, and that's going to get your name out there. People are going to say, "Oh, I saw your talk. Like, I know what you're doing, and that's not just you trying to get a resume in through a door and pointing them to your blog. It's you saying, this is what I've been working on. As you can see, I wrote this article. It ended up being this. It's not bug bounty hunting, but it's similar in the fact that you're taking initiative to say, hey, this new thing got put on the net, the on out there into the retail market, and I decided to hook it up and watch what it did. And then in doing that, this is what I found out it does. And now you write a post about it or write a research paper or something simple, and then you try and publish it, and then you put your name out there. Like, your reputation can be developed there, and your reputation is what's going to get you further toward the job than, unfortunately, being a name on a paper.
Agreed.
Yeah, and also let's remember you can still use alternate nicks about dropping your resume, like printed resume on an office and somewhere you want to work. The last time I saw that working was 2 years ago. A friend of mine, when he was in New York, he went with a printed resume and went to the reception desk and leave it there, and he left an impression. And nowadays he's working with that company. It works still.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. And that's, I think, something that it's like unfortunate about like the current climate too, is just like, how do you stand out, right? It's just like you often have to look at ways to like stand out above the pack. Let's see. Ashiro, does anyone think the FTC will ever look at that on the public sector? I'd heard something about that being a question about that misleading investors and them postings that aren't real jobs. Do I think that's anything that the current FTC would look at? Probably not. In the future, we would have hopes, right?
I don't think that it's not real jobs. It's like there is a need, there is a requirement, but the reality is there's not a budget. So it's easier to keep it open, like, but and then just go through resumes, but they're not really going through resumes, and they're showing for their higher leadership, we are trying to fill it, but they don't really financially, no one wants it filled. It's a game of the system. Sucks.
It does suck. And Gilly says not to force the military on anyone or National Guard, but if you are in the U.S., more opportunities are coming up for cyber and IT. Which,
on that note, there's always going to be new National Guard CPTs. Like, their budget and their growth is only projected to increase. There is quality training, and if you do your time and you get your honorable discharge, you do get a kind of a plus up when it comes to those resume applications. I am former military cyber, and I do have a unique look at that, but I was active. I did work with a lot of guard. We do have a few guardsmen that are employed at Black Hills that are still in. Like, at least one of them is still testing, and he's a warrant officer in the guard. But there's a lot of benefit to it if you can overlook like the current climate and you realize get what you need out of it and then move on. Don't make it your life. Like, that's the important thing. The training, I got more out of that training than I did out of my degrees, in all honesty, because it's so involved. If you got questions, feel free to hit me up. Just subject matter it with, hey, I have questions about this. Like, what's your input? I'm blunt when it comes to the military cyber aspect. I will not hold back. So
thank you guys. I appreciate you. Let's replying to some messages. We have the job hunt like a hacker here. Everybody say hi to Jason Blanchard. If you haven't checked out Jason Blanchard's Job Hunt Like a Hacker series, I strongly suggest it. So if you're in a position where you're having difficulty finding your next job or your job period, you want to just level up, trying to pull up the link. I'm terrible at talking and typing at the same time.
I think someone dropped the link
Somebody did?
earlier. Yeah.
He has a workshop coming up next month. I'll grab that link because it'll be a 6-hour workshop, and it costs $0 to join. And I would so strongly encourage that, y'all. It is worth every penny of the $0 because you will gain so much value and insight there. And then, another reminder, if y'all have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. If we happen to miss a question, please don't feel afraid to repost it in here. You can tag me if you would like. Just don't spam or anything like that. But it does happen where we miss a question or two sometimes with the chat moving. So, but otherwise, happy to help you all out any way we can. And hello, Siri. Good to see you. In before one of the best things you've ever done. What have you done, Crimson?
I see Morales Impressor saying he knew someone with 8 SANS certifications that work as an HR admin. That's one heck of a... He knew someone with 8 SANS certifications and worked as an HR admin.
So Lazy Bum, you say, so currently you have your Network Plus, your Security Plus, your ISC CC, and the AZ900, and on TH, you're on the SAL1 analyst track to try to add stuff to your resume. So if you haven't completed something, don't put it on your resume, would be one bit of advice too. So if you haven't completed a certification or something, I wouldn't even put it on there that it's in progress, because you already have quite a few certifications that are completed. Those are fine. That's going to be sufficient. And you're also working on a home lab, want to make a cloud home lab for experience, but man, the grind is hard and stressful, and taking care of family and having a full-time job for sure. Definitely going to check out Job Hunt Like a Hacker. And does anyone know of a good site to find cyber conferences in your area? Yeah, meetup.com. I don't know if anybody.
Meetup, Eventbrite.
Yeah, Eventbrite, that's a good one.
Yeah. Infosec-conferences.com.
Awesome. That.
Okay, more on Newsom, that's either the Sands one.
And also, I highly recommend you to take this little course called The Learning Journey by Michael Targart. It talks about exactly that, how to deal with learning while having your full-time job, your family, friends, a life basically, and cyber at the same time.
Yeah. The expired certs, Morale Suppressor, you're probably going to get different variations of answers to this one potentially. I'm okay with the expired cert, whether you put on there that you have the cert, or you put in parentheses that it's expired, especially if it's one of the more, I guess, popular certifications. It's still good to have it on there. It still shows that you completed it at some point, which means that you have that knowledge no matter what, whether that's expired or not. Doesn't really matter, right? Unless the organization is we need you to have, this specific cert, so you're going to have to get it again, right? You may have to do that potentially. I wouldn't say that happens too often, but most organizations just care oh, you got that cert at some point, you have the knowledge, that's great.
Yeah, just get your job to pay for renewing your certs. That's what I did with Pentest Plus. That's the only reason I renewed my Pentest Plus. My job paid for it.
Yeah. I like what Cyberwolf said. My CCNP expired, but that doesn't mean I'm stupid. It's so true. Okay. Oh, and I missed some questions on the live stream. That's my fault. What's the best tool for network analysis?
Wireshark.
Yeah, Wireshark for sure. Good morning, the bearded IT dad. Oh, and there's spam on Twitch, so I gotta go on the Twitch. Genevieve, you have your first SOC interview this Thursday. Any advice? Well, first of all, congratulations. Good luck to you. Advice, don't lie. Be honest. If there is something, you get to ask a question and you don't know the answer, please be 100% honest about that, but do not give them an opportunity to fire anything back at you. So if you get asked a question you don't know, this is your response. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that specific technology or specific question you asked, but here's what I would do to learn more about that. I would go out on the Google, I would go out on the ChatGPT, out on the YouTube, I would ask my peers. Anytime you come across a question like that, like make sure you're prepared for an answer very similar to what I just gave, because they are going to be okay if you don't know the answer. Like you are never going to be expected to know every single answer to every question that's given to you, especially in an interview. But the pro tip here, like the secret trick behind this, is to let them know that you are capable of finding the answer. You know how to utilize all of the resources to your disposal to find the right answer, because that is always going to look better for you than sometimes even having the right answer or just not knowing the answer and just like, I don't know. And then they move on to the next question. Try to answer to the best of your ability. I don't know, but here's what I would do.
Yeah, that's the preferred answer, basically.
Yeah. And then lately out on the YouTubes, if I'm already in the IT field in a school district, should you still do the A+? No. In the past, you pass all the A+ first part, but always update what's the best cert to take currently. Well, if you're already working in the IT field, you already have a pretty good idea or at least understanding of a lot of the different technologies and things that you're seeing day to day. What interests you the most? Like, where does your interest and passions gravitate you towards? And that's what I would suggest you going after for your next certification, something that's going to help you align to the next steps in your journey. You're already working in IT, so you don't need the A+. Basically, the A+ is very much established as a very fundamental entry-level certification to help validate your skills and your knowledge for entry-level work. But you're already working an entry-level job, so you've already validated that. That's already on your resume. And experience is always king. Experience is always going to be better and more important than every single certification or degree that you have. Experience is king. So you're already like multiple steps ahead of whatever, right? So good luck to you, first of all. But yeah, definitely look at what the next step for you is. And then I would align your learning journey towards that and look at what certification you would have to look that would help you with that. But I just want to throw this out there. There could be a possibility where you're looking for a new job and they do require the A+. That's something that you can tackle, when you get there. But because you have the experience, like I would still apply for that job anyway, because that is going to help you stand out far and above people who don't have the experience. So what they might do is like bring you in and say, hey, you have the experience, we need somebody with experience, but we really need you to get, the A+ certification. So, we'll hire you, but under the whatever that you have like 3 months to achieve the A+ certification, right? That happens sometimes. So you could run across that, but I would go after like the Security Plus. Like that would be hands down 10 times better than the A+ all day, every day. And then last question on the YouTube, or do you guys have any advice? I'm sorry, Brett. Or do you?
You got it.
All right. Sorry. Boss reps, after building your Active Directory lab, where can you find some labs to do within that domain controller? That's an awesome question. So game of Active Directory is going to be the go-to. Game Active Directory. Somebody probably going to beat me to that already, and that's okay. I'll put this in the read stream.
Active Directory. I add AD lab. Just basically look for a ton of like Active Directory of games or CTFs or vulnerable Active Directory on GitHub, and you'll find a lot of different setups. You said you already have built the lab, the Active Directory itself, so you won't use like GoID, like Game of Active Directory directly. You want to go into the script sections. That way you can get the configurations that you can do and adapt them to your own lab.
have I heard of any GRC conferences? The Simply CyberCon, I guess, is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not specifically GRC focused, but I mean, it's run by like the king of GRC. I don't know what you want to call him. They need to find a better name for Jerry. Let me
I
think
put in the
about that
chat
one.
the link to Chris's class, Chris Trainer's class. He uses Game of Active Directory, and he does provide like a baseline starting point for it, and then you can then he also gives additional things you can use to then build from it. So if you're having trouble setting it up on your own, that's a good starting point if you can take the class.
Gilly says, wherever you have to go, you have to be willing to advocate for yourself and design your learning path to meet your end goal. A book that hit them hard early on was Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. Thank you for that, Gilly.
That's the
And
important thing
then,
to remember here is everything you do in this field, the drive that you show, the passion to ask questions, the curiosity, that's what's going to set you apart, but that's also what's going to make people want to invest in you. If you're not showing that drive and you're just waiting for it to come to you, you're not going to actually succeed once you get in this field. This field needs that drive, that ability to go further, go deeper. If you can't do that and you're struggling, you need to first figure out how you can get that habit. Because if you get a job and then you're not doing that, you're going to be one of the first people that they're going to be like, we don't have the bandwidth to keep supporting this. We need someone who we don't have to motivate constantly.
that's where I feel like people who are making a career change often have more an advantage over people who are kind of like new to just career. So like people who are graduating college and stuff like that, or early on in their career life, if you will. So people who are in like their 40s, even like 30s plus, right? Like 30s, 40s, 50s plus, who are making career changes to work in cybersecurity. It's like you have gotten to a point in your life where you're done just doing whatever it is that you were doing, and you desperately want to change. And oftentimes it's like those people, it's like you out there who are in that position, like you have so much more drive and determination to get to where you want to go and get like do what you need to do. And you might not realize that you bring that to the table where not a lot of people do. And that is something that employers often look for. It is like Brett said, like people with that drive, with that desire, that passion. Like
I've
if
seen
that
a lot
shines
of
through, like yeah. I mean, we saw
I've
that with
seen a
Brett.
lot
I
of
saw that with Brett.
videos.
So it's just like, and now Brett's working at Black Hills, right? No, dude, you're a perfect
I'm not
example of this, dude. Like, you are though. Like I'm sorry, like Brett just came out of the military and he joined us last year with the Skill Bridge program. But he was somebody who, like wasn't sure necessarily what you were going to do coming out, right? And like you gravitated towards security, but like you busted your butt, dude. Like you went so far above and beyond, I think, what normal people would do to get to where you are. And it paid off. Like it paid off because you were determined and you had that dedication and passion, and it like shined through. So like, like I told you, like I gave you some advice on like getting here, right? And like you took those steps, and then like every time somebody met with you and I would hear like, oh yeah, he's just got that drive, like he just has it. And that was like so incredible to hear. It's just like, yeah, like that's you're just like, yeah, I'm sorry, you're a good example of that though. Congratulations to you, by the way. Again, sorry to put
The
you on the
year
spot like that.
2023, I said I knew I was changing a career, and I realized I sat back and I looked like what do I need to do to make it so I can have success. Like so the decision I made was I need to network. So I looked at my budget and I planned to go to conferences. But what I did intentionally was to go to conferences that were outside my area. I went out of my way. Hey, well, here's a conference in this area. Here's the conference here. Going to Deadwood. One of the best things about going to Deadwood and making it to Wild West, if you can do it, is the fact that everyone there is from all over. There's not a lot of people. I think there's maybe like 30 people that are from the local area, but for the most part, everybody is from all over the country, and you're more likely to actually build a connection with someone who's in a place that can get you more leverage than staying in your local community conferences and not getting out there. And that's the thing. I spent that whole year going to conferences and putting myself out there. I got involved in this community. I got involved in Discord. Like Zach pulled me onto the camera and like constantly telling me to get on the camera, get on the camera. He bullied me a little, like he doesn't look it. But then like it's your drive, and that's what I'm trying to like. People really need to realize it's the drive. What I've seen a lot of videos recently of people complaining they're not getting a job, but then they're complaining about the fact that the interview required so much effort. If you're not willing to put the effort into the interview process, why would they expect you to put the effort into the job?
Agreed 100%. And I was just talking crap on Joe Hudson.
Oh, of course.
I love Joe Hudson. He's amazing.
Yeah,
I
he's
said we love
super
that guy.
hilarious.
What's up? You guys are both talking at the same time.
Just he's super hilarious, especially on Twitter or X, however you call it.
Yeah.
I love what was it when he tweets about like, "Hey, I love Nano" or something.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, see, I got a question from Michael. They got their associate's degree over 10 years ago in network admin. They were in their mid-20s. A few years ago, they took the A plus but failed. Now they're 40, thinking of trying again. Should you go for it? I mean, if you have your degree in network administration, I would honestly go after maybe more something that's more networking related. If that's like what your interests are, I wouldn't go after the A plus. Like if you have the degree, I would go after something that's going to just be a little bit help like establish you just a little bit further and be a little bit better from the marketability standpoint. Where the A plus is just going to completely fail you in that aspect. So the security plus would be much better than an A plus in my opinion, or something networking related, just based off of you having that degree. You can go over the A plus material just to get like a refresher, but please do not spend your money on obtaining that certification because I literally am was editing a video last night about the A plus for 2026. So I have a lot of thoughts on the A plus.
Is it like an updated exam or something?
The A plus?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always outdated. Like they refresh it every 3 years, but even when they do refresh it, like it's behind.
But it's going to be refreshed in 2026 or no?
Yeah, probably. I don't know when the next refresh. I have to look. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter, dude. Like even if they refresh it in 2026, it's not gonna be relevant to what we're seeing now. Even like they're always behind in what they're doing. They're never. It's the A plus is never like as practical and realistic as it should be for what it is as an entry level exam, right? Like it's I don't know. It frustrates the heck out of me.
What would you recommend? Because we've been talking about the A plus so much, but we don't have a practical recommendation instead.
So this is my best advice that I always recommend. I do recommend people to study the material on the A plus, like go through the learning material. So they can watch Professor Messer on YouTube for free. He has all of the A plus material for free. Go do that. And then if like to spend your like the next step, okay, watch the A plus material, learn it, document it, that whole thing. Then go after your security plus. And there's two reasons for that. The security plus is cheaper than the A plus, and the security plus has better marketability than the A plus. So those two things alone just blow the A plus out of the water all day, every day. You're going to get looked at much harder having a security plus. Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
No, I say it's good fundamental knowledge, but the cert isn't worth it. It was when it was but it's not worth it. The knowledge is what's important, and there's so much like that out here where you need the knowledge, not so much the cert. Like look at resumes, see what they're asking, and you'll see there's a commonality. Sec plus is the baseline for most entry levels. Like, and then the jobs change depending on the job role on what certs they want. But the knowledge you can get from A plus, it can build a foundation that a lot of people don't have anymore.
Yeah.
But the cert's not worth it. Cost wise,
marketability wise, and it's 2 exams. And if you fail, one of them, you have to retake it and spend more money. And somebody put a link for the practical help desk from TCM Security. I think that's free. Yeah, freemium. Definitely go take that Go all day, every day. And then Michael replied back, go for your bachelor's degree. You don't necessarily have to go to your bachelor's. 10 years is outdated, you know, like you got your associates 10 years ago. That's fine. But now you can like really go after like the CCNA or something like we said, and you'll be all right. Even though like that degree is older, you still have the degree, which is a check mark that a lot of organizations are looking for. And it puts you a step above somebody who doesn't have a degree. So that's huge, right there.
And
But
the
I would
knowledge
just focus
doesn't
on the street.
change.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, good luck to you on that one, Michael. And then Laylee, hey Zach, I just want to say your words truly resonate with me. You remember taking their 901 back in 2019, even when they failed, they didn't give up on the interview process. You just want to thank me. Well, you're welcome. That's incredible. Yeah, good luck to you. I hope everything's working out. And then let's see, making sure I'm not missing anything on the Discord side of things. How do I compare the Sec Plus and the ACE-T Core? As an excellent question. The ACE-T Core, all the three learning classes that are associated with that exam are John's pay for what you can classes. So active defense and cyber deception, SOC core skills, and getting started in security with BHIS. Those are all hands-on classes where you're actually putting your hands on the keyboard, following along, doing labs, using the actual tools that security professionals are using every single day, understanding the actual methodology behind security professionals as they're, doing these tasks and things every single day. So the Security Plus is more geared to just prepare you for a multiple choice exam, which whatever, it's got some good knowledge on there and things, but no point in that entire process are you dedicated to getting your hands on the keyboard and actually doing the thing, which I cannot stress enough how important that is. So I guess for us, like I'm really excited for the AST certifications to be coming out because they are going to be much more aligned to the real world. And that really excites me. I think like TCM is the only really other organization that has put as much focus on realistic and practical information, like, I mean, I think like, what is it? Hack the Box or whatever. They're like starting to up their game and things like that. But yeah, everybody else has been, I think, behind.
And one thing that just came to my mind if you have like a multiple choice exam, which is like the Security Plus, and you want to add some practice to it, take the knowledge from that Security Plus and you can do a little security audit on your own devices, on your phone, on your PC, on your laptop, on your family computer, whatever. Take that knowledge and check those devices. And you will probably flag a lot of things on those devices.
We might have time for another question. So if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll try to pick one and answer it if we can. But so you all know, we do these every single week, every Tuesday, same time, same place. Everybody is more than welcome to come here and hang out. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. You can absolutely just sit here and listen. That's okay. But we do love your participation. I love your participation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can join us. And we are going to be off for 2 weeks at the end of December, but I still am going to try to come back here and do these on the Tuesdays because
I'll be here with you.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to do these. Like I love doing these, so I'm going to make sure that I dedicate some time to come.
I think the Tuesdays will be fine for me too.
What's up?
I need to get action. Otherwise, I'm just going to spend 2 weeks in cabin fever.
Right.
Tell me we get 2 weeks off. That means everybody I've been talking to goes away for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to be in a bad place.
Yeah, I mean, I already got the weekends to do everything I want to.
Cloud Strife says also colleges update content less often than CompTIA. That's true.
Yeah. Well, this is the college's fault.
Good luck to
It
you,
is,
Michael.
colleges need to be accredited to their point in time because their curriculum has to meet a certain standard. Their
Yeah,
curriculum
not
will
set by
be
them.
updated more often if they're looking for specific certifications like the NSA, like CE program, or like the cyber defense certification from the NSA. Most universities, they have to go through regular things for that. The offensive is actually a better one to find if you're looking at universities, because the offense has more stringent hands-on requirements for that degree program for them to be certified as a national security agency center of education for offense. If they're certified for that, then their curriculum is going to be super hands-on, super detailed, and probably really good. Defense is going to be largely policy-based because that's the easiest thing to teach that doesn't require a lot of changes. So they default to that. So you're really just checking a box. The biggest thing to get out of the degrees is, one, can you be assigned a task, complete it in a required time, and perform moderately well? Can you develop good networks with people and build friendships regardless of the situation? Those are the things you got to look at when you're getting out of. It's expensive. I tell my friend from my bachelor's, like, if anybody ever asks you what your friendship's worth, it's about $75,000. Because I got two friends out of a bad school, but I'm now their lifelong friends, and we stay in touch.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to say, and it totally slipped my mind. Darn it.
You gotta have your notebook to quickly note down that.
All right, everybody. Again, appreciate y'all being here. We do have a Anticast coming up tomorrow, so if y'all want to come hang out with us tomorrow, you can always see what's going on if you go to poweredbybhs.com. I'll put a link to in all of the chats. bhs.com. There it is. But otherwise, yeah, if you come back next Tuesday, maybe you can come and join us on camera, ask some questions, or help answer some questions if you would like.
Share the link, invite others, spread the news. Like, let's get more people into this and get more people this opportunity to voice their questions.
Yeah, let's get 200 people here.
All right. That'd be great. Wouldn't be able to, we'd have to extend the time so we could answer all of the questions, which I would be okay with. I could sit here and do this all day.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The Discord is always there too. You can ask questions on the Discord server.
Yeah. But yeah, you all are here. Please don't feel afraid to reach out on the Discord and ask questions. You'll all have somebody here from the community who's more than happy to help you all out. But thank you all again. Thank you, Brett and Leon, for joining me up on the panel. And thank you to everybody out there in our audience for joining us this week. That's all for today's AMA. We'll see you next week for another one, or catch you tomorrow for the Anticast. Take care, everybody, and have a good week. See y'all later.